Welcome back, Aries. It's good to be back. I'm Megan of North Star Astrology, and this is another general transits reading for those of you born with your sun, moon, and or rising signs in the first zodiacal sign of Aries the Ram. Okay, now the month starts out with Mars in your 10th house of career sextiling the moon in Scorpio in your 8th house of others as resources. So that actually happens on May 1st at 15 hours and 21 minutes. So this sextile affects, in a very harmonious way, the moon, Jupiter, sextiling Mars, Saturn, and Pluto, all in your 10th house in Capricorn. And since, thank goodness, Saturn moved from Sagittarius into its ruling sign of Capricorn, or Capricorn rules Saturn, or is ruled by Saturn, this then can help you manifest a significant raise and or promotion in your career house. Then on May 4th, Uranus trines the moon when the moon goes into the 9th house of higher education, philosophy, and law. And with this very harmonious trine, now that Mercury is direct and also trining Uranus in the first house of the body and the self, to you, Aries, this will be an emotionally, spontaneously satisfying start to the month of May. And that happens at 2 hours and 7 minutes into the day. And then on May 6th, the moon and or Uranus square each other in and of themselves between the 1st and 10th houses. And with this square, now there's a bit of a challenge, but because Mercury is direct, there's more of an incentive or impetus to take a stronger drive toward, or you feel driven, in other words, toward manifesting more transformational changes in your career. But be mindful of your ego, because the 10th house is the house of the ego, and Aries does have quite the ego, so temper it. And then on May 8th, the last quarter moon enters your 10th house. And then on May 9th, the following day, Uranus sextiles the moon in Aquarius, so from fire to air. So the moon going into your 11th house of friendships, sextiling That's such a beautiful, besides the trine, they're both beautifully harmonious. For you, Aries, this will be for the ability to render pleasant communications with friendships. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that your ruling planet is Mars. So, with all of the activity that happened in your career house, this is definitely the best time for you of the year since it is your month. And happy birthday! So, and since April showers bring May flowers, I decided to put a very beautiful handmade necklace made by my oldest aunt, and it's encircling the planet Earth this month. Then on May 11th, Mars, your ruling planet, sextiles the moon in Pisces in your 12th house. So here we have the ability to go within and tap into your subconscious mind and work with your ruling planet Mars, manifesting even more so in the career house. And then on May 13th, Mercury enters your second house of money, going into Taurus at 12 hours 41 minutes. Or excuse me, at 18 hours 16 minutes. That's military time. And then on May 15th, your ruling planet Mars trines. Wait, let's see. Moon and. Oh, wow. The moon has traveled all the way around here on May 15th. That's right, okay. So now the moon. On May 15th, the moon is in Taurus, trining your ruling planet in Capricorn. So Mars in Capricorn, moon in Taurus, both earth signs, hence the reason that there is a harmonious trine. And then, too, Uranus now leaves your sign, Aries, and also enters your second house of money. And wow, all of this in Taurus this month. Sudden windfalls, perhaps? And that's on the 15th. And then the new moon occurs in your second house. So now you can start new financial endeavors. Now that Mercury is direct, that helps a great, great deal. And then on May 17th, let's see, the moon goes into your third house of communications, conjuncting Venus in Gemini. And that happens at 21 hours and 48 minutes. Oh, and Mars leaves Capricorn and goes into Aquarius, into your 11th house of friendships. And then Venus leaves Gemini and goes into your 4th house of the home on May 19th, whereby the Sun and the Moon, once the Moon comes into Cancer as well, now you have a Sun-Moon sextile happening on May 19th. So between the 2nd house of money and what you value and your home life, there's a flow of harmony big time, since the Sun is the strongest. And then the Sun moves into your 3rd house of communications, into Gemini, on May 21st. Then the Moon goes into your 5th house of romance and creativity, whereby squaring Jupiter in Scorpio. So from your 5th to your 8th houses, you'll have a little bit of tension, but not much. And then on May 23rd, also Mercury leaves the sign of Taurus and enters your 3rd house of communications on... Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry about that. But on May 23rd, the Moon trines Pluto in your 10th house of career. And so that's 4 houses away here from your 6th house of work and health and service given. It then trines Pluto. And then the 1st quarter moon occurs in your 7th house of relationships and others. Or actually, is it in your... No, wait a minute. 1st quarter moon happens in your 6th house. I apologize. 1 degree, 2 minutes, Virgo. Okay. Then goes into Libra, thereby squaring Pluto again. There's so much to do with Pluto and Uranus. Well, no. The previous month had a lot to do with Uranus aspects. This month there's more to do with planetary movements and changing from one sign to another, and Pluto and or your 10th house is greatly emphasized, and starting of new things. And then the moon eventually comes into your 8th house of other people's resources. And finally, our only opposition of the month is to the moon in Scorpio opposing Mercury in Taurus in your 2nd house of money and what you value. Excuse me. And you'll want to be, or this will be, giving you greater awareness, but you'll still want to be careful at or with the earlier part of the month's gains so that you don't have any losses, big losses, In other words, don't gamble your money away. And then finally, the full moon happens in Sagittarius, as Gemini and Sagittarius are opposite sun signs. And so with that, I need to wrap it up because I am running out of time. But thank you so much for coming back and watching. Please feel free to like, comment down below, and or subscribe. And have a great month of May.